Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting StarCraft 2 broadcast. Today, we're going to be continuing our coverage from Dreamhack Valencia, the best of series between Liquid HerO, this time spawning as the blue Protoss, down in the 6 o'clock position, against EG IdrA, the red Zerg, up in the 12 o'clock, here on a modified version of Metalopolis. I say it's modified simply because it prohibits close spawning positions, so I think that will kind of lend itself in a positive note towards the quality of the game that we're going to be seeing here today. Now, previous game, I feel like HerO did a fantastic job. Once he was able to get into that base, he kept the Warp Prism nice and safely out of range of the Queens, any sort of anti-air, combined with that Force Field knocking out the Infestation Pit. He just knew all the right places to hit, and the timing of it was just beautiful. The reason was, IdrA, I think, was planning for a good long match. That's kind of his style. He likes to macro up a lot. And I've noticed he started using infestors more and more. I don't know how comfortable he is with them. I haven't watched his live stream a lot, but I feel like that he's continuing to grow in his use of them, trying to apply them a little bit more liberally, and I'm very happy to see that transitioning into PvZ. You know how it is constantly evolving. I'm glad to see he's able to keep up with that. So now, what I'm going to be expecting to see from IdrA today is, okay, well, there we go. Spawning pool actually going down. I was going to say either that or just a fast hatch straight up, because he's already scouted that his opponent is not right there. And so he may be thinking, okay, cross spawns, I'm going to be okay to put my expansion down early. But he knows that HerO, and this is specific to HerO, I think, he's already played him. He knows that him and a lot of other top players, might I say, will do this with their probes, harass and make it very difficult for a Zerg to take the expansion. And you see that he's saving up the money for it right now. It's kind of floating at around 150, 200 there, and he's waiting for this probe to actually go away, anticipating a pylon as well. So I think that pool is a very smart decision, because he'll be able to get those lings out, like I mentioned in game number one, take out that pylon, and then, oh, nice block there by the probe. Will IdrA actually be able to drop that? You see he's got 9 hit points, still continuing around. Let's actually pay attention down here for just a quick second. HerO decided to go for a Forge Fast Expand. He actually dropped this before the Forge, so he is feeling in a very comfortable position. I'm not too sure how risky this will actually be. I say that because, yes, the pool went down first, so he's going to be able to get those Zerglings out, but they don't have speed. He doesn't have the gas. He's not really committing to getting that, which would be a sign of early pressure. Right now, these Zerglings, they're going to be good for controlling the watchtowers, keeping an eye out for probes. That's about it. Generally, you're not going to see Zerg players dive too deep into their opponent's base, especially at this point in the game with unupgraded Zerglings. He may decide to come in, poke it for a second just to wait and see what HerO does, but that's really going to be about it. The whole point of that right now is just to make sure that he can keep HerO on his side of the map while IdrA can expand. The fact that his opponent already has that Nexus complete is going to put HerO at a pretty decent advantage with the early game economy, being able to have double chrono boost, double pro production, and also he's going to be able to get a fast upgrade as well. So cybernetics core coming. I do like the positioning of the structures here. Now look at IdrA's response. He realizes that he's kind of behind in the economy a little bit, so he's going for a fast third. I think that this is a very smart move, because he knows that HerO isn't going to be able to project a ton of force at this stage of the game. We, of course, can see the cybernetics core coming down. The double gas means that HerO is going to be able to get that warp gate technology going, but more importantly, start producing sentries, which are pretty good defensive units. Not something you want to be sending off 2 and 3 at a time in the very early stages. Also a Twilight Council. So we're going to watch the gas here, but I'm almost wondering if he's going to be going for DT or possibly Blinkstalker. We don't see a lot of gateways right now, so I'm kind of maybe not thinking Blinkstalker here. But with this third gas, I'm kind of leaning towards Dark Templar harassment here, which I think is a really good transition, considering it's likely he knows his opponent is going to be dropping that expansion. We're going to, of course, come up here and see that he's going to scout that right now. The Zergling will chase the probe away. He gets that crucial information and is going to be coming down, sees the creep. Okay, the natural is down. Next thing you want to watch for, drones. Okay, so he knows his opponent is going to be going with the economic route. I mean, it's IdrA. Chances are that's what he's going to be doing, but of course he can always switch it up and has been known to do so. So this is pretty much just you've got to find a balance between knowing what your opponent's tendencies are and also making sure you can scout and confirm, because they're both equally as important. Now you see HerO positioning the Zealot there. Very nice. I do like that a lot. You see the Zerglings are actually going to suffer some pretty decent casualties, kind of going in and out there. That's, I think, costed IdrA an extra hit or two. But overall, not that effective with the actual harassment. Now we see this proxy pylon up here, which I think will be very nice for dual harassment. You know, if HerO decides to come up here and poke at the natural with some stalkers, maybe a sentry or two, he can send in some zealots or even Dark Templar from this pylon, hit the third base, and kind of keep IdrA on his toes. Those multi-prong attacks are very difficult for the Zerg to deal with in the early stages because he hasn't quite gotten at the spine crawlers. He's probably worried at some level about air harassment. But that's what these overlords are coming in here to confirm. We spot one coming over the main base, one in a good position for later scouting as well. We have the Zerglings up here that are going to be pretty much just poking in again to see what HerO's plan actually is. This overlord I don't think will make it to the Dark Shrine, but if it does, oh man, that will actually give IdrA some very crucial information. Does he spot it? 47, 31, 1. Oh! Man, I think he actually did. Let's just take a quick look here. It died right as it reached that point. Yes, he did see that Dark Shrine, so you see two Spore Crawlers going down as we speak. Very, very good, good Overlord usage right there. So HerO, he's got those Dark Templar warping in. I don't know if he's thinking maybe his opponent saw it or not, but he's probably assuming that he planned for it. So we'll watch and see how he uses these Dark Templar to come in. He spots the spores, and yeah, okay, engaging the Zerglings, that's fine. The Queen as well, they could probably take that out. The big problem is those eggs. What is hatching inside of those? If he stayed, it would have been kind of a gamble. So you see he kept that one Dark Templar there, pretty much just looking for an opportunity to harass. We, of course, can see IdrA's army, 86 to 61 for total supply. Not that much money invested in either at this point in time. 60 to 47 harvesters. So again, this just gets back to typical IdrA style of play. Very macro and oriented. We've also got the infestation pit coming and is generally feeling a lot smoother here. I feel like IdrA's a lot more comfortable now since he has established his corner of the map. He's got 3 bases right now running with a pretty darn good economy. And HerO still running on 2. He is getting his 3rd right now, so that will be good. The fact that he is down 1 base right now is not that huge of a deal. We see 88 to 84. You see they're still neck and neck. IdrA has a little bit of a lead, I feel, mostly because of the fact that he is starting to produce some roaches here, but also we're seeing him continue to drone up. He's at 67. His income is almost at 2,000 minerals per minute here. Now, what he can transition to, I mean, I'm expecting him to go with the roach infester ling style of play. He's going to kind of balance those out depending on what he sees from the first big engagement. From that last scouting he just did, he already found, okay, Stalker Sentry, so some Zerglings would be a very good thing to have. We also have the Overseer coming over. It's just going to be scouting out as well. It's keeping an eye for any stray Dark Templar. He's going to be losing that gas, though. That's definitely not a good thing to have happen, as he is still working on getting that up here, but, you know, at least it wasn't a bunch of infestors or something that went down here. So macro hatchery going down, you guys can pretty much just get an idea of what is going on in IdrA's base. Let's actually take a look back down at HerO, where he is completing his wall off. He's going again with these very gateway heavy build. I was going to say we're going to expect to see some High Templar here at some point. Sure enough, there we go. I mean, with all these gateways, we don't really see a robotics facility. No Stargates, nothing of that sort. So he's going to have to watch out, though, because those gateway units can really be negated without too much difficulty by some very nice fungal usage. Also, Broodlords as well. Blink Stalkers can somewhat counter those. I say somewhat because it depends on what the Zerg player has in combination with the Broodlords. Now, we do have one Dark Templar over here harassing the expansion, and one very obvious changeling. I would expect to see that die very quickly, actually. Yep, sure enough, here we go with the Protoss player. Actually, no, it might be able to sneak himself in there. No, nope. Not happening after all. So overall upgrades, I feel like HerO is doing a really good job with that, 2 so far. And IdrA sitting with, let's see if we can actually find one weapons. He's got melee 1 as well. Nice force fields going down, keeping a lot of these roaches out of the fray. The problem was IdrA landed a very sexy fungal right there, keeping a lot of those gateway forces from running away. So that really is going to be an indication to HerO that he's going to have to get something to deal with those infestors. High Templar, yes, they can feed back. They can also blanket with Psy Storms, etc. But the problem is, you got to get them in there. You got to make sure that they're not fungaled away from the rest of the army, picked off by Zerglings, anything of that sort. And also, Neural Parasite later on down the road becomes also very effective. Now, keep in mind, this is a replay from patch 1.3.6. So the War Prism, the Fungal, haven't received those changes yet, nothing of that sort. So keep that in the back of your head as we're watching these guys play. Although I have noticed the weeks leading up to the patch, which was recently released, I've seen a lot more usage for the Warp Prism. So anyways, back to this game. IdrA now moving out. We see he's got a decent bit of energy on a couple of these infestors. I feel like he's hoping to catch his opponent before he's able to get up, more expansions, but more importantly, before he's able to transition into something that can deal with this particular combination. Again, force fields can really limit the effectiveness of this, but taking a look at the army size right now, we see only 2 sentries, 4 High Templar, and Psystorm, I believe, is complete. If I can find it. Yep, there we go. It is complete. It was going a little while ago. But again, no Zealot charge. We do have Blink. That's about it. So IdrA popping up, took control of the watchtowers, and decides to actually fall back here. He's probably just wanting to play a little bit defensive while he continues to get more reinforcements here. We're seeing him continue to drone up, a whole bunch of them on the way. Just look at his income right now, 95 workers with several more en route, and wow. So back over to the units lost so far, you can actually just see that the Protoss has lost a pretty decent amount thus far this game. That fungal that IdrA landed had a good bit to do with it, but the sky's the limit as far as what we can actually have happen so far. I mean, we could have a player go for the high yield expansion, be very risky. I feel like IdrA would, if he saw that, he would try to punish it with some quick Zerglings, take that out, and get out before his opponent even really was able to respond. But we see over here that a Dark Templar has spotted this expansion, so he's probably going to be looking to harass that in just a second. Also, a few Zerglings, again, these are the ones just parked up here. IdrA, very smart, decided to block off that expansion up there while dealing with this Dark Templar. So this base is looking fairly secure. Looking at the upgrades once again, we'll just look really quickly. IdrA 1-1. Down here we have HerO 2-1. Nice fungal. See that? Landing on all of the High Templar, doing a lot of damage. Not quite able to kill any of them though. And you see they're able to live and do plenty of storms up close. The force fields, not quite as many as probably HerO would like to have, but he has been using his gas on a lot of other things. Just watch the money right now. IdrA is so very money heavy, but look at what is going on now. HerO decided to go ahead and throw a bunch of Zealots up here while engaging IdrA over on this portion of the map. And also we have a Warp Prism coming with a bunch of High Templar and Zealots storming the Mineral Line. Oh man, as well as the feedback on the infestors. This expansion going down as well. So HerO altogether, I feel like, has had a very successful 2-pronged engagement, really negating a lot of this income for IdrA. You see this expansion going down again. It's about 40% complete there. And once again, IdrA's forces are more or less split up. So I was going to say HerO might have an opportunity to press forward, but if you look at what he has right now in terms of actual units, a bunch of Blink Stalkers, not going to be that effective considering the fact that Infestor, Roach, Zergling are just such a potent mix versus this particular combination. So IdrA may decide to poke in here and do some damage, realizing that his opponent might not have the appropriate counters for his units, but quickly warping in several High Templar will allow him to feed back these infestors. Not that much difficulty. Sure enough, there we go. The Zealots still do not have the charge upgrade yet. I mean, really, all they have to do is just sit there and tank the damage, and they're doing that exactly that. Whether or not they're 2 feet from the Roach or 1 foot, either way, they're likely going to die before they make it there. They're doing their job. So, Archons, there was one for a second or two, died very quickly, and IdrA is forced to pull back now, realizing, okay, I did some damage, but maybe not quite as much as he would like to have done. The important thing was he did try to break through this expansion and keep HerO on down a base, which right now we'll just look at the income again and see that even though that technically IdrA in a minute will have that extra income there from this base, I feel like that HerO is in a better position economically because he's got that extra gas coming in, and the probe or the worker count is so darn close. All these cannons as well, very nice. So, well, actually, I'm kind of thinking that IdrA, this is not going to work out so well for him here. You see, he's kind of committing a couple infested Terrans. I feel like he could drop some fungals here as well, could really limit the Blink Stalker micro, but that's not going to happen. We're seeing him use the infested Terrans as basically a running away wall. Just, here's something to attack, I'm going to leave, enjoy. That's pretty much all it was. And I'm wondering if, yeah, that energy could have been used a little bit differently, but I mean, like I said, it would have been a lot worse if he had lost all these infestors. So he might have been thinking that if I didn't drop those, I might not have been able to get away before the fungal would have worn off and the stalkers would have caught up anyways. Either way, Looking over here at this expansion, it looks like it is quite good. 25, well, now regenerating there as it came an inch away from death. We are continuing to see more harassment up here. Dark Templar and Zealot taking out the income. Looking at the worker count now, 64 to 83. While HerO continues to press forward up here, he's using the Colossi and Stalkers in combination. I like this a lot. Although he really could be running back this Colossus. I think he was trying to buy himself some time to get away with the bulk of his army. But we see, again, another attack. Lots of Zealots coming in for HerO. You see he now does have that charge upgrade. Going to run in here super quick. Not really going to be able to take advantage of it at this point. But, I mean, really, when you got a bunch of drones, what do you really need to worry about with the charge upgrade? Other than just seeing them bounce around like ping-pong balls, because they're pretty amazing like that. Oh, this Zergling, this poor Zergling. Good night. So this expansion having gone down once again, HerO continuing with his multi-pronged attacks, his map control. IdrA's response is kind of interesting, although I'm wondering how effective it's going to be. Really, it's good in this manner for harassment. He's going to be able to take out these cannons, possibly deny this expansion, or at least force HerO to stay up in this corner, way away from this portion of the map. But the fact that he's had this Warp Prism here, and even these Dark Templars that are just idling around, means that his continued presence here will be a thorn in IdrA's side for the minutes to come, despite the fact that he was able to keep this army delayed up in this base across the map from HerO's main, which we see is just now starting to get mined out. 215 minerals left. We're going to see continued upgrades there, and pretty much just macro mode at this point. Almost said Facro mode. I don't know what that was. But, yeah, both players kind of realizing not a lot to really do at this point. IdrA knows his economy is not in a good position. He has mined out his main. He's mined out his natural. Holding these three bases is going to be the most important thing here. And it's going to be extremely difficult considering the fact that once again the Dark Templar have come up and continued harassing this base. HerO, once he gets this up, he is going to be in such a wonderful position in terms of economy. You see, he has played, I feel, except for one or two exceptions, rather defensively with the bulk of his army, only pushing out with, 10 Zealots here, a drop here, and we're seeing that continue to take place, taking out the Greater Spire. Oh, man, this would be a really bad thing to have happen here. Just a second or two, it's gone. And having the High Templar here as well, I think, is also an incredibly smart play by HerO, because he knows that his infestors, his opponent's infestors, are going to be marching into the base. So another opportunity to limit their ability to land some fungals, land some neural parasite, and now we're seeing that corruptor just getting annihilated with HerO's continued multi-prong pressure. Nice Side Storm blanketing the roaches there. Oh, we saw a neural parasite for all of half a second before that infestor promptly died a horrible explosive death. There's the GG. HerO, man, he has just been great with the pressure both games. IdrA was in his comfort zone, man. He was in the late game, and Apollo, or not Apollo, read that name right there, but HerO's constant pressure, the economy, playing very defensively here, very smart, gave him the victory. So let's go on to more coverage from Dreamhack Valencia. Of course, if you like this video, please leave a comment and let me know anything that you liked, you disliked, whatever. And of course, if you want to help me out, you can also always hit that subscribe button there. So, see you in the next video.